Hi, everyone. Welcome to Curated by Becta's New Year's Eve 2022. Thanks so much for ordering this week, this year, and thanks for letting us be a part of a very special celebration at home. We've got a terrific menu for you tonight. All of our favorites. We've got some lobster bisque, we've got some Beverly Creek ribeye, and we've got the classic Gazelle dessert Butterfinger. So you can't go wrong with this. There's a few components, as you can see. There's a few pots and pans to do afterwards, but I really hope that you're going to do the appetizer first and then enjoy it and then work on the main course and then take a break and then go to your dessert, because that would be the best way. I don't want to run the video forever, so I'm going to concentrate and do it all at once for you. So I've preheated a few things. We've got on medium heat our lobster bisque. For the main course, we've got our whipped potatoes with the cheddar and scallions. Here I'm going to be warming up our lobster, 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter per person, and you're going to put that in the pan. You want to go medium low. You don't want, the lobster has been cooked already. You just want to warm it up in the butter, and then you're going to add it to the lobster bisque. I have tossed the broccolini with some salt and pepper and 1 tablespoon per portion of grapeseed oil. You can use canola oil, you can use vegetable oil. And then the next thing you want to do is take the steak out of the sous vide bag. So we've already cooked it to rare sous vide to make it super nice and tender with some butter and some garlic and some fresh thyme, salt and pepper in there. So take it out and pat it dry. Now, ribeye is best when it's done for multiple people. So for everyone who has ordered denominations of 2, you're going to get a single ribeye for 2. 1, we're going to try to take the smallest ribeyes and cut it for 1, the narrowest, so that they're still a little bit thick. And then for those of you who have ordered 3 or variables of 3, and you know who I'm talking about, you're going to get a 3-person steak. So it's going to be much thicker, but you're going to slice it up and it's going to be perfect for you. All right, so why don't we go ahead and get started then? So we've got 2 tablespoons per person of neutral oil for our ribeye, and you want to get that to medium-high heat because you're going to be searing it. I've got the Bordelaise sauce on super low, and I'm just going to stir that along. This is going to be for the mushrooms, so I can warm that up in a little bit. I guess I need one of these guys, a whisk, to whisk up the lobster bisque. So when the pan gets hot enough for the beef, we're going to sear it up. We're going to do 90 seconds per side. You drain off the oil. You're going to butter baste it for 30 seconds per side, and then in the oven for about 3 minutes to get to medium rare. Let's talk about the wine, because this is one of my favorite parts. For those of you who have ordered the wine pairing this week, thank you. And classic pairing with lobster bisque is a rich California Chardonnay. And this is the Introvert Chardonnay from California. And it's from Ian, the guy who did the movie Somm, if you guys have seen that. And this is his Negociant project. So he buys from select vineyards in Sonoma County and blends it together to this gorgeous thing. It's going to be great with the lobster bisque. When I was doing the sommelier program at Algonquin, that was one of the classic pairings: lobster bisque, big buttery California Chardonnay. And then for the main course, we'll get into that in a second, but this one I just love, and I'm so excited that we get to share it with you. It's a Le Sabine from Clos del Rey in the Maury region of France, which is usually only does sweet red wine, but in this case, they only do dry red wine. Grenache, Syrah, Cinsault, so a Côte d'Aron blend, but beautiful, mineral, great with the Beverly Creek ribeye. Okay, the pan is smoking. Let's sear this guy up. So medium-high heat, we don't want it too much. I'm going to leave that out for later. Let's see, we can start warming up our mushroom pan, I think. And 1 tablespoon per person of neutral oil there. The butter is melted enough to warm up our lobster. My cat was going bananas when she loves shellfish more than anything, so she's probably going to go bananas when this warms up and she can start to smell it. Let's get the lobster bisque going on a little bit higher. And I need some tongs. All my small steak tongs are right here. And get a little stainless steel bowl because you're going to be draining off the oil. You want to use I'm just going to take the thyme out of here so it doesn't burn, because that's seared off nicely. The thyme and garlic, because that's been cooked with already. Make sure that we're not burning it. Um, so again, about 90 seconds per side. You want just a nice brown sear. That's looking good. I'm going to turn it over. Get that thyme out of there now. You can sear the thyme in there for a little bit, but don't leave it in there too long, because it will burn, and that's not pleasant for anyone. Okay, the mushroom stuff warming up. Make sure to keep giving things a stir. My potatoes. And so the steak is going to go in the oven with the broccolini. Lobster warming up on medium-low. Bisque not warming up as fast as I expected, so we're going to go, I had it on too low. Get that rolling. One thing that we need to do is take our dessert out of the fridge. You want to let the dessert warm up about 20 minutes before you eat it, but you want to plate it while it's cold. This is the classic Butterfinger. If you've got one of these pastry spatulas, that's the best way so that you don't mess it up. All right there on the plate. So again, it's best to plate it while it's cold, and then you temper it, and we will garnish it in just a little bit. Okay, how are we doing with the steak? That's a nice sear. I'm going to do a little bit more sear on the one side because there was a lot of the garlic stuff in there. Okay, we can get rid of that. Mushrooms can go in now. So these are king orangi mushroom, king oyster mushroom. Turn up the heat a little bit on that guy too. Lobster, you just want to warm enough so that you don't cool down the soup. Okay, so this guy, I'm going to turn the steak down. And this, oh, exciting. I haven't had this go off before. My sweet wife is going to deal with our hood fan issue while I melt the butter, so maybe turn the hood fan on ahead of time. Thanks, Maureen. Nothing like a little excitement for New Year's Eve. So turn this down to low, melt the butter. As soon as the butter is melted, you can turn it off. And just butter baste this guy for about 30 seconds per side. I love that I have accomplices in my house for just such events. Reminds me of the Julia Child moment where she dropped a full roast chicken on the ground and picked it up and kept going, because that's what you do at home. They only got one, back then they only had one take. All right, I'm gonna check out these guys, give it a little stir. We can turn the hood fan off now that I've made all of the fuss. Lovely. That's probably warm enough. We can turn that off. We can flip the steak over. Thanks, sweetheart. I'm smiling so much my AirPod almost fell out. Really doing well today. And this butter bathing, it caramelizes the butter, so it gives a really nice nutty quality and a richness to the steak. Make sure you get it all. So when we did this, it was either last year or 2 years ago, we had a couple people that were concerned with the size of the steak, but don't worry, the steak is very, it's already been cooked sous vide, so it's already shrunk in size. So it may be a little smaller than you used to with for a steak for two, but trust me, there's going to be lots. Okay, our mushrooms. Let's see, 3 minutes per side, so we can turn these guys over. With potatoes, we got 3 more minutes going on that. So why don't we plate up our soup? Lobster bisque, in the pot or in the bowl. Yeah, my stove telling me it is off. Lovely. Smells amazing. My cat is going to go bananas. Stir that around. Let's clean up the edges of the bowl. Make it all restaurant pretty. And then we've got the lobster. So I'm just going to take a spoon. Put the lobster in there, and why not add some of the butter to it as well? We've got a decent amount of butter on the menu tonight, but that's what New Year's Eve is all about. It's about richness and decadence and enjoying, and then you can deal with New Year's resolutions next year. Okay, mushrooms looking good and seared. So what do we do with them next? And we're just going to melt this. And I can turn it off the heat. And we're just going to mix it. Okay, so before I finish the the lobster bisque, I am going to take the steak out. It's been about 3 minutes. I think that is ready to go, medium rare. You can just get a little more butter on it, and then you're going to rest it. 5 to 7 minutes is really what's best. I'm going to put this back on here so it doesn't keep beeping at me. Make sure you rest it. This is super key. So you give up a little bit of heat, but so much more flavor because all the juices will go back to the center of the meat and makes it very tender. If you cut it right away, all the juices go off, and it's no fun for anyone. Okay, so let's finish up our soup. We've got our dill oil for some nice green. Make a little fancy pattern with it. And then the preserved lemon. A spoon for that. You're not going to see it as much because it's going to sink. That's okay. It's going to taste amazing. And the Chardonnay really plays off this preserved lemon as well. I hope you can see that because I don't want to bring it up because I want to get a really great picture for you guys. So I'm just going to slide that across and get ready for our main course and our dessert. So mushrooms, hit it with some salt and pepper because I have not done that yet. You shouldn't need to season the sauce or the whipped potatoes with the cheddar and the scallions. Keep the butter there because you can put the steak in before you slice it, and that's going to work well. All right, why don't we go ahead and finish off the dessert. Got our Butterfinger, which is white chocolate, milk chocolate, and dark chocolate. This has been on our dessert menu at Gezellig for forever, since the beginning, 10 years. Marianne was our pastry cook that created it, and it's been such a hit that we bring it back every once in a while. So here is the fun, optional finishing idea. So we've got the marshmallow fluff here. If you can get a sort of top to it, great. And this is the optional. You got a barbecue lighter. You can torch it up a little bit because who doesn't like torched marshmallows? And just get a little bit of color on it. We have a big blowtorch at the restaurant that we use that helps us out. But if you've got a barbecue lighter, 10 seconds or so, you'll get a nice little browning. Okay. And then we've got our graham cracker crumble all along there. Okay. And there's our lovely Butterfinger. But again, don't eat it until about 20 minutes in because then it gets to the right temperature on the plate so that it's malleable and easy to eat and you don't need Knives. Okay, so about 2 minutes left on our broccolini. Should be good. Um, so while we're waiting for the steak to rest, we can start plating the other stuff. Make sure to give the bordelaise sauce a little stir. Whip potato down. The cheddar really comes through. There we go. And for those of you who don't know, the Curated and actually all of our restaurants are taking a break next week. So, so Curated will be back online for, I think it's the 12th, something like that, the 13th, 12th, Thursday the 12th. So thank you for your patience while we take a little break for our stuff. I'm going to go over here. That one's a little more messy. The good news is with whipped potatoes, they stay warm for a long time. All right. Steak is going to be soon. I'm just going to get a trivet and bring this over. We can do the mushrooms next. And the broccolini. Need a couple pairs of tongs for tonight too. But I promise you it's going to be worth it. All right. Broccolini looking good. You want it to get a little bit of black, a little bit of blistering. And the mushrooms. Make sure to get all that nice butter going on. Mushroom butter. Now, let's do our steak. So this butter is delicious and warm. Take that off, give that guy a stir. So you want to cut against the grain. So you want to go the short side in. There's a decal, and there's a fatty piece that my son is going to love. And you want to do about 5 slices per person, give or take. And that's like a perfect medium rare right there. One, two, three, four, five. And fan it out so that when you hit it with some salt and pepper at the end, this is looking great. That's a significant size steak, so no one is going to complain. Be generous with the salt and pepper. Clean up our plate a little bit. Bordelaise. Now you can put it on your steak, but the chef really recommends sort of putting it on the side. Has a lovely glossiness to it, and then you can sort of dip your steak in it. Perfect. Make sure to turn everything off. And there is our lovely Beverly Creek local ribeye, done sous vide with the roasted king Rengi mushrooms, broccolini, and cheddar and scallion whipped potatoes. Thank you for all your support this year. It's been an amazing year. We plan on rolling with this for a long, long time. So I really hope we get to count you as supporters for a lot of 2023. Happy New Year to you all. I hope it's a great one for you.